It's okay to suck at your hobby. Hey guys, you're watching Squidmar Miniatures and I'm Emil, and I wanted to start off this week by saying, oh my god, thank you guys so much. So last week was really one of a kind experience. I don't really know where to start, but this Fiverr video that I released last week, usually the first week I get between 15 and 30,000 views the first week when I publish a video. And this one is already at 300,000 at the time of recording. So this one is already twice as big after a week that my most viewed video is after 6 months of doing YouTube. So these numbers are crazy, and I just thank you so much for all the comments, the likes and everything like that. It just really helped this video get spread across the platform and just got this video into new people's homes, and I'm just so grateful for that. I cracked 40k subs, and at the time of recording I'm at 45k, so I guess it's even more. So thank you guys. Yeah, wow. The only negative experience I had was that with this many new viewers, there's a lot of trolls coming, and they've been kind of negative. Luckily, it was just like one day where it was like a big boom. I think I had like 20 something really nasty comments. This just reminds me how lucky I've been so far, because I haven't really had any problem with this before. And it reminds me that I have to tell you guys, the viewers, to keep being positive in the community, keep writing positive comments to other creators, and be really kind towards other people in this hobby space, because I don't want this hobby to become one of these negative things that the music industry is, for example. I want to keep it, I want to keep the vibe happy. And I think that's about it for an intro. Let's talk about today's topic. So friends, this topic is something that's very close to my heart. And I've been getting a lot of messages from you as a viewer that kind of sparked me into making this video. It's a little bit about painting, but mostly it's about finding your place in the hobby and making sure that you enjoy what you're doing. And the messages that I've been getting from about a dozen different painters is that some painters feel incredibly discouraged because they've been painting for a while because they don't feel like they're developing. And I've also been getting some messages from some people that practice a lot and they feel like they don't get to a world-class level fast enough. They look at these amazing painters and they feel like it's just way ahead of them, and they feel like it's impossible to reach that level. And the thing is, I can see where these painters are coming from, because from time to time I surf Instagram, and every time I do, I feel both encouraged, but I also feel discouraged about surfing and seeing all of these amazing paint jobs. And for me, this discouragement can be because of a plethora of different reasons. It can be because I feel like I don't paint as well as they do. It could be because I don't own the same models as they do that I want to have. It could be because I have tons of models on my shelves, like I have in the back here, that are just unassembled and I haven't had time to paint them, let alone paint my entire army of goblins or orcs or ogres that I have in my shelf. I have a lot of unpainted miniatures. And for you it might be a different reason. This discouragement is real because we look up to these painters, and because the feed that we get on social media is that everyone is just so amazing at what they're doing. Whether it's Instagram or the Facebook group that you're a part of. But about a month ago, I was surfing around on Twitter and I came across this wonderful little drawing by G-Bird. And I just felt so happy when I saw this drawing. It's a drawing that, in the most childish way, reminds me that it's okay to not be best at everything. And it's very easy to kind of get to a point where we feel like we're not good enough to share what we do. We're not good enough at enjoying our hobby if we're not the best in the world at it. But that's not true by any means. We're in these Facebook groups with amazing artists no matter which hobby we're in, and we see these amazing works that people post up there, and we feel like we can't post our stuff up there because we're not as good as they are, or we feel like we're still developing, so we can't be a part of this community because we're not good enough. And some people might call me a hypocrite because they say that, well, you're better than this and this guy, but hear me out here. I will explain to you what I mean. And first of all, we've all been beginners, and don't think that I just got to my point where I am without any practice. And second of all, I have other hobbies. I play beer league hockey, for example, and I'm not even average in a team of rejects. And the thing is, we're all in this hobby, whether it's wargaming, it's diorama building, it's role-playing games, or it's Warhammer 40k, or just you like painting miniatures or figure or whatever. And the thing is, we have to remind ourselves, and we have to remind the people around us to not lose track of what's important. We're not in this hobby to become masters, to be the best at everything we do. We're in this hobby because we like it. I'm in this hobby because I enjoy painting, because I enjoy playing games, and quite frankly, I'm a nerd, so I like fantasy figures and I like the story and the lore that these games have. So we have to do what makes us happy, and if that is speed painting armies to a terrible quality, that is fine. You don't have to be the best painter. If you like playing games and in which you lose almost every game, that's totally fine too. And maybe you're just one of those guys who just loves buying miniatures. You love owning these really cool figures, and you guessed it, that's totally fine too. And you need to figure out what makes you happy, what makes you tick, what brought you into this hobby in the first place. And don't worry too much about who the best miniature painter in the world is, who the guy is who won every tournament in the UK the last year, or who the best sculptor or illustrators is. Be inspired by them, but don't be discouraged. Don't feel let down being in this group with amazing people. Are you out in the backyard throwing a ball with your kids and quitting because you're not as good as Tom Brady is? Or playing soccer with your friends or feeling like shit because you're not as good as Lionel Messi? I mean, if you go back to the miniature world, there's like a handful of these ridiculously amazing painters in the world. And these people have probably been professionals for 10 years. They've painted 8 hours a day or even more for 10, 15, 20 years. Is it fair to compare yourself to these amazing artists that spend years and years, tens of thousands of hours into owning their craft? Do you really want that? Do you want to spend that much time every day painting? Make your hobby into a chore instead of something you do for leisure, for fun, to relax? Look out in the real world instead and see that instead of these 10, 20 amazing artists, most people are average or good or decent or even horrible. And that's totally fine. It's okay to not be the best at your hobby. Most people are like you. And it's okay as long as you enjoy yourself and have fun. Slap that pink on that Space Marine if that's what you want to do, or cover your entire miniature in blood effects if that's what makes you happy. And I hear a lot of people comparing themselves to me the same way that I compare myself to Sergio Calvo or Kirill Kanayev or Rodrigo Ocore. But quite frankly, don't compare yourself to me, because what I show is my successful miniatures on Instagram or my thought out videos on YouTube, and these take quite a lot of time to produce. And the thing is, I'm 32 now. I have been doing media for 20 years. I painted my first miniatures when I was 12, 11, something like that. After that, I did music as a touring musician, I did websites professionally, I illustrated, I did album covers, t-shirts, and after that, I worked as a digital artist, retoucher, and photographer professionally full-time for 8 years. And those 8 years, I learned quite a bit, to be honest, and my first miniatures didn't look as good as they do now, and it's totally fine. This is what I did when I was 15. I wanted to play space orcs, and I saw these awesomely converted orc buggies and cars and things, and I was super happy with this, and it was okay. it was okay that I wasn't the best in the world. It took me 20 years of doing different media and arts to get to this date. Unfortunately, I repainted most of the miniatures I did when I was 11, 12, but I can show you some that I did when I was 15. And the thing is, I rarely ever upload images of my failed miniatures that I do now. Even now, after, as I said, I worked for 20 years in different ways with media, I still fail. And really, these 20 years, to increase my skill, they do a lot. But the thing is, do people really have to practice 20 years and to be really good at your hobby? No, you don't. It's okay if you're not the best one in the world. So, to tie everything together, it's totally okay if you want to get better, but don't compare yourself to me, don't compare yourself to Sergio, compare yourself to you when you paint. Look at some miniatures that you did a few years back and you'll see that you've probably developed a lot. And if you just want to have fun in the hobby, don't compare at all, just paint and have fun. Let's go back to this awesome drawing and just remind ourselves that don't care about getting better at playing, painting or sculpting. It doesn't have to be productive or something useful. You don't have to do it to get fame, and quite frankly, you don't have to do it consistently. You can do it once every half year or once every year. And most importantly, it's okay to suck. It doesn't affect your value as a person. So friends, that's all for my rant today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like this video, if you like this channel, thank you for watching. Please consider hitting the subscribe button if you want to see more of my stuff. I release videos every week. And if you want this message to be spread out to more people, leave a like, leave a comment, let me know what you think, how you approach this hobby. Share this video with a friend if you have someone who's in a bad rut or something. And there are also some ways that you can support this channel. You can do it either via Patreon, join me and 120 different Patreon supporters on Discord and chat about hobby every day, get inspired, have fun. And you can also check out my website, squidmar.com. On that website I list all of the stuff that I use for all the videos that I do. Paints, the camera equipment, the microphones, everything that I use to record this stuff and paint the miniatures that I do. And if you want to support this channel, you can follow those Amazon links when you purchase the items and you will be giving a kickback to this channel, which is a great way of supporting this channel. And make sure that I can keep painting miniatures every week. A massive shout out to my top Patreon supporters, Evan Weston and Albin Ostrom, of course. And with that said, guys, have a great day. Bye.